Ndị be anyị ekenekwanụ m unu. Anyị sị ka nkonye chiri ya zalụkwa. Anyị si ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ. Mmiri atara m azụ anwụna. Anyị dịka o si dị ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka anyị si were wetara ya bụ ozi. Unu jega ịnụ ugbu a n'iru akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ya bụ ifu na anụ na-eme n'obodo nọ n'ime ya anụ nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Anyị n'ụbọchị nke taata anụ nwanne anyị nwoke wetara ya ozi, one of the Biafran activists, and he quote,
Breaking news. DSS FD in panic as Nnamdi Kanu's legal team strike hard ahead of July 18 court battle. Here the news in details. According to the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and also Yabi Beko Esiwega Obosinke 18th of July. Because Gegodin Yabo update Muna with Rhino Bosinketa. I get Yekodun Yabo update Bastaka Yabi Esiwega 18. All right, over to you, sir.
Welcome back to the channel. Tomorrow, July 18, the eyes of the nation will be once again focused on courtroom 3 of the Federal High Court in Abuja. It is the continuation of the long-running trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. For nearly 3 years, this case has moved slowly, adjudgment after adjudgment, but now, with new legal motions and rising public attention, many are wondering, will this be a turning point? Let's walk through what to expect based on facts from the last court sitting, official legal filings, and what Kanu's lawyers have publicly said after last court trial. Watch this video.
We are happy to announce to all of us of freedom that the matter has been adjourned to the 18th of July 2025 for a no case submission. In other words, to tell the court and to show to the court that the prosecution merely wasted 10 years of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's life by arresting and detaining him for no just cause. So we are happy. We have very short time within which to work. We are going to utilize that very short time and make sure we deliver on our mandate. And our mandate is to provide sufficient defense for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you and God bless you. All right.
The final pre-vacation court battle, all eyes on July 18. Tomorrow, July 18, 2025, will be one of the most critical days in Nnamdi Kanu's long-running legal battle. Why? Because this hearing will not only determine the fate of the no-case submission his legal team filed, but it will also be the last opportunity to push any motions before the Federal High Court goes on judicial vacation until October. The build-up to this day has been intense after years in DSS custody, allegations of extraordinary retention, multiple court delays, and a political tug of war over its release. Tomorrow represents more than a legal hearing. It is a symbolic test of justice in Nigeria. The Department of State Service, DSS, is under intensive pressure. If tomorrow's proceedings expose further violations, including ongoing illegal detention conditions, it could lead to national and international embarrassment for the Nigerian government. Meanwhile, IPOB supporters and Southeast stakeholders are closely watching. Many believe that justice delay is justice denied. Tomorrow's outcome could either give hope to those who have been demanding justice or inflame further discontent in the East. What the court is expected to hear, the key legal agenda. The central issue tomorrow is whether the court will adopt or reject the no-case submission filed by the Kanu's legal team. This legal move, if accepted, could dismiss the charge of part of them without the need for a full trial. The judge, Justice James Omotosho, is expected to either hear or argue from both sides on the no-case submission. adopt and fix a date for ruling, possibly after vacation, or rule immediately, which is unlikely but possible if all facts are deemed sufficient. Kanu's lawyer will argue that he was unlawfully brought to Nigeria via extraordinary detention, that no concrete evidence link him directly to violence. That is, continued detention violates constitutional and international human rights law. The prosecution, on the other hand, will attempt to confuse the court that they have established a prima facie case that require full trial proceedings. How the judge rules will determine whether this trial end early or drag into 2026. DSS under fire at detention and contempt allegation. One thing that may come up sharply tomorrow is the alleged disobedience of court orders by the DSS. Kanu's team has repeatedly accused the DSS of blocking access to his doctors, denying adequate health care, refusing to obey visitation rights, violating court rulings, including access to legal documents. Kanu's lawyer may raise these issues again, especially if his appearance tomorrow show visible sign of illness or neglect. If these health and human rights violations are raised in open court, it could trigger two possible outcomes: a strong rebuke from the judge, possibly warning or sanctioning the DSS, or in a more extreme case, the judge could order his transfer to a neutral facility or hospital for treatment. Whatever happens, the DSS behavior in court tomorrow will be under a microscope, not just legally but politically. No case submission, how it could end the trial tomorrow. What if the judge agrees with Kanu's lawyer tomorrow? That is the big twist everyone is watching for. If the no case submission is granted, then some or all of the remaining 7 charges could be struck out. That means Kanu may be fully discharged and released, be partially discharged with only 1 or 2 counts remaining, or be refused discharge, forcing a full trial later. This is where tomorrow hearing could turn into headline news across Nigeria and beyond. If Kanu walks free, or if a large portion of the charges are dismissed, it will send a political shockwave. If rejected, it's back to full trial, but the vacation will delay everything until October. Appeal Court versus Supreme Court, the battle of legal interpretations. One major tension underlying tomorrow's trial is the legal back and forth between the Appeal Court and the Supreme Court. In 2022, the Court of Appeal discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu, saying that the way he was brought to Nigeria was illegal. They ruled that the government had no right to prosecute someone they kidnapped. But in 2023, the Supreme Court reversed the discharge, saying that while Kanu was brought into Nigeria illegally, the court can still hear the case. Tomorrow, the defense will try to revive that Appeal Court decision, arguing that even if the Supreme Court overruled it on a technical level, the principle of justice and legality still stand. The goal to persuade Justice James Omotosho to weigh the moral argument that if someone is abducted from another country, the trial should be declared a null. This is a tricky legal argument, but if accepted, it could shake the foundation of the entire case. What the government fears most tomorrow: Let's be honest, the Nigeria government is in a tight spot. A fear three things may happen tomorrow. Court embarrassment if the judge criticizes the DSS again or questions the legality of the Kanu's redemption, it damages their image. Release order if the no case submission is granted, the federal government will face pressure to let Kanu go. International backlash, a ruling in favor of Kanu could reignite foreign diplomatic attention. To avoid this, expect the government's legal team to come fully prepared, possibly with new documents or argument aimed at delaying judgment or pushing trial continuation. Watch carefully. Tomorrow, any adjustment tactic may signal fear from the government side. IPOB and public response. What may happen after tomorrow? The IPOB leadership has already declared that July 18 is a day of justice or judgment. If the ruling goes in Kanu's favor, expect street jubilation in parts of the East. Massive online trends, renewed calls for dialogue between Igbo leaders and the presidency. But if the court rules against him or adjourns the case again, there may be peaceful protests or online campaigns. IPOB may issue strong statements warning about continued injustice. Pressure will mount on Southeast governors to intervene politically. Tomorrow's court ruling is not just a legal matter, it is a test of leadership, justice, and peace in Nigeria. What Kanu may tell the court if allowed to speak? If Justice James Omotosho allows Nnamdi Kanu to speak, even briefly, he may use that moment to challenge his illegal redemption, expose how he is being treated in DSS custody, appeal to the international community, or even call for calm among his supporters. Such courtroom statements carry weight, not just legally, but politically. Even one sentence from Kanu tomorrow could become headline news, especially if it reveals new facts or a bold warning. International observers and human rights groups are watching. Tomorrow's trial is being watched not just by Nigerians, but by international human rights groups, lawyers, and foreign embassies. Organizations like Amnesty International, UN special reporters, and foreign diplomatic missions have already raised questions about Kanu's detention and trial process. A ruling against Kanu, especially without clear justification, could lead to new reports accusing Nigeria of human rights violation, increased pressure from foreign allies, even possible travel or financial sanction on individuals involved in the illegal redemption. This is why tomorrow is so sensitive. The court must balance legal judgment with global security. After July 18, the court goes on vacation until October. And here is the final twist. After tomorrow, the Federal High Court goes on judicial recess. This means if there is no final ruling, the next hearing may not happen until sometime in October 2025, almost 3 months away. That is why both sides are desperate to make tomorrow count. If the no case motion isn't ruled on, and if the trial is adjourned again, Kanu remains in DSS custody for another 90 days with no progress. It is a race against time, and tomorrow may be the last chance before a long, frustrating delay. Now, brothers and sisters, tomorrow is not just another court date. It is the turning point. It is the moment we have waited for since January, and the moment the Nigeria government has tried to delay over and over again. For over 1,100 days Nnamdi Kanu has been detained. We have watched the courtroom become a battlefield, not just of law, but of truth, of conscience, and of justice. But tomorrow, on July 18, this long struggle, its biggest test yet, will the judge rule that there is no case to answer and finally free him, or will they kick the can down the road again, using legal technicalities to buy more time, keep him in custody, and silence the voice of millions? This is not just about Kanu anymore. It is about what kind of country Nigeria is becoming. A place where someone can be kidnapped from another country, detained for years, and denied fair trial, or a place where the law still matters, where even the powerful must answer to justice. Remember, after this hearing, the court is going on vacation until October. So, whatever the judge decides tomorrow will lock Kanu fate for the next 3 months. That is why this isn't just another trial date. If the motion succeeds, Kanu could walk free. If it fails, we brace ourselves for a long and heated legal war that may stretch into 2026, with protests, appeal, and international pressure rising again. And let's not forget, the whole world is watching. Foreign diplomats, legal observers, and millions of Biafrans from Enugu to Aba to Anambra to London to Washington are watching how Nigeria handles this historic case. Will the court rise above politics and pressure? Will the judge have the courage to apply the law fairly? Or will the system once again bend the rules to serve a hidden agenda? We will find out tomorrow. So, my people, make sure you are ready. Turn your notifications. Follow this channel for live courtroom updates. Share this video so everyone knows what's really at stake. Drop a comment. Do you believe the judge will free Kanu or keep him detained? And don't forget the hashtag matter. Now more than ever. Hashtag justice for Nnamdi Kanu. Hashtag free Nnamdi Kanu now. Hashtag Biafra not terrorism. This is not just news. This is history in the making, and we'll be here to cover every second of it. Stay strong, stay alert, and stay united.
I'm a living witness to history. The first time Mazi was abducted from Kenya and brought here, I was in court to warn them that, in fact, I was one of the few people that came here as soon as they did their kangaroo arrangement, that this case is not going anywhere, and that there's no way, it doesn't matter how long it takes, it's going to end up the way it started, as nothing, and it will end up as nothing, because there's nothing that can stand up on nothing. The foundation of this was malice. It was a suppression of a section of Nigerian people and the violation of the fundamental right of a Nigerian British citizen who was abducted from another country, brought here without due process, and detained indefinitely, even presented from having open and fair trial, which we have seen all over the time. As a matter of fact, today we already had a notification with the DSS preventing people from moving around here. But you know, they started by blocking everywhere. Now they are tired, they can't even block half of the road because you cannot stop an idea who stands. And this is what we want them. And I'm glad that they are reaching the dead end that we have predicted. The dead end is that there will be a no case submission. In fact, I would have an issue with the lawyers if I were to be involved, because there's no need to even file a no case submission in a case that never existed in the first place. But you have to do your own legal work. And let me use this opportunity to also appreciate all the lawyers and all the people who have stood in solidarity with Nnamdi Kanu. I've said it that if it's the last person I will stand with him, I will stand with him. Now mine is not political. In fact, the most unpopular political decision to take in Nigeria is to stand with Nnamdi Kanu. So if you want to win election, you know who to stand with, which is the federal government. But I'm not doing this to win election, I'm doing it for the freedom of our people everywhere we can find ourselves. And I believe that if Nigeria is going to become one, it has to be on the basis of justice. You cannot be suppressing a section. Those are the right to flourish and think that you can go home to rest. And you have seen it now. Even those people who never believed Nnamdi Kanu a few years ago, they have seen it with what the Fulani herdsmen are doing, killing hundreds of people. They are doing it also in the southeast. They killed in Ebonyi, they killed in Enugu, they are killing in Edo, they are killing in Kogi, they are killing people across the country. Imo, yes, there was some killing. So this was what Nnamdi Kanu told you as a prophet. But he has always told me, when I met him in New York, that he's not a prophet. He's just saying the reality of what the Nigerian project is all about. That it was a fake project put together and it can never materialize until there is justice. And this is what we keep advising them. The interesting thing was that there was even a time in 2019 that they charged me secretly with him. I filed a charge here that I connived with him to kill some policemen. So
ndị ba ngwadalụ dị na dịkun si wee gee ya bụ ife wetelu n'ụbọchị uruchi nkịta anyị ga-anapụ nukwu nri ya tinye gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile ụmụnna wetara anyị gwa ifu nche n'udo nke unu ngwanụ ka emesịa na ụmụnne m